Pro Ball Spa. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Boomtown Grill Thursday out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. Hit some golf stuff. I mentioned earlier in the week that one Ryder Cowan after the U.S. Open and the Palmer Cup, now playing at Southern Hills this week in the 122nd playing of the Trans-Mississippi Amateur Golf Championship. Give you an update on how he's done so far through the first two rounds, going into the third round here today, teeing off right in the middle of the show at 9:30 up in Tulsa.
Man, what a summer he's had.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. You got France and Morocco today. World Cup gets back after going dark yesterday. Who are the top 10 coaches in college football? Who is somebody that didn't make your list that surprises you? And who would be kind of the next man up? And then we'll begin the show first off with Mr. Joe Merrick with the Wild Plum Jam coming up next Friday at the Sayre City Park. It's a heck of a lineup, and Joe's going to tell us all about the goings-on over in Sayre coming up next weekend. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things I laid out or whatever else might be on your mind. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area one of these days, you want to stay in touch with the show live, it's easy to do. Log on to kadsam.com, or you can download the Paragon app. The app's got all the radio stations, got the Penny News. Brand new edition of the Penny News out on the streets right now. Let's go pick up a free copy of that Penny News. Check out the deals in this week's paper. Of course, we're not that far away. Big Elk and Paragon TV, month and a half maybe, before that thing kicks back off with high school football and whatnot. So you can do all those things through the Paragon Communications app. It's free to download, and you get everything that we can do. And then Skinny on Sports Podcast. If you missed a show entirely, you go back anywhere podcasts drop. How are you today, Jared Atha?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm just
ready to sweat again today.
Wonderful. It was hot. It was hot yesterday.
So hot.
All right, joining us here to start off the show is Mr. Joe Merrick. Joe, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing great. Wild Plum Jam number what? 6 but 5?
6 but 5,
6 but 5 coming up next Friday. Tell everybody about the lineup and who all that's been able to that you guys have coming out this year.
Well, the headliner this year is Pat Green. We've been trying to get him for a couple of years, and finally had a good year last year, and we're able to reach a little deeper and got Pat lined up and wanted Casey Donahue too, and we could only get those two guys if we did it Friday. So that's something I want everybody to catch on to, is it's not Saturday night, it's Friday night this time.
Well, I think that's a good thing because of there's always something happening in Western Oklahoma, and I think this is the only thing happening on Friday night.
Well, that'll be
next
good.
week.
Maybe we'll go with that. I hope that's how it works out. You bet.
So you got Pat Green, Casey Donahue, and then everybody knows T. Willie.
T. Willie, he's a hometown hero, and he always has been great for us, and he just gets better like fine wine year after year. He's got the voice. He's writing his own songs and just killing it, and he's a gem we don't recognize out here.
Tell me about this young lady, Presley Haile. Tell me about her.
Well, Caroline Grace had a chance to go play with Willie, they said, so she bailed in about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and we wish her all the best. I hope that works out great for her, and we'll get her again next year or something. But Presley Haile is a girl from down in Texas that's really kicking off and does a lot of those Texas music shows down there, and I got to listen to a little bit of her stuff, and it's old school mountain kind of bluegrassy sounding stuff, and she just I think she's ahead of her time. And everybody come early because she'll start the show at 6, and I don't want everybody to miss that, because we'll also run out of biscuits and Wild Plum Jam if you wait too long. So
you get there, the gates open at the park at Sayre at 5. As you said, music starts at 6. For those that haven't been there, before that are going to come this year. What kind of give it an idea of what they can expect, the layout and all that kind of thing.
Well, we've got some. We park in the baseball and softball fields there on the north side of the park, and then we have the stage set up by the pavilion on the park, and play toward the grassy area along the east side of the swimming pool. It's shaded and pretty place, and it's just an old iconic WPA building there for the pool and stuff. It's a fun place to go hang out, and we hope to fill that park up and have everybody kick back and enjoy the cool time of day. Later it gets, I guess, but we always have this thing in the time of the day when or year when everybody wants to be somewhere else. But honestly, even on those hot times, later in the evening when the stars are out and the music's flowing and it's not very far over to the water and hole beer cooler, then everybody has a big time. So come on out and enjoy it. It's a fun time.
Yeah, so when you go in there, I mean, you can't bring an ice chest, right?
Right.
You can't. I know that's a question that people always have, but there is food and drink available.
There's food vendors there, and we have the beer garden there under the pavilion. So,
how can somebody get a ticket?
You can get the tickets early on KECOFM.com, and also on Wild Plum Jam Facebook, Wild Plum Jam 2026 Facebook page, and they're $35 pre-sale and $40 at the gate.
So you can go to the gate and buy a ticket. Yeah. I've always the Dust Bowl days. Is that parade on Saturday?
Oh yeah, it's on Saturday.
It's going to be on Saturday.
Well, it always is, but we didn't have to change that part. Yeah.
Tell everybody what that is, because that to me was fascinating.
It's just we tried the Dust Bowl. The whole idea behind the Dust Bowl days is just to do something to bring attention to and celebrate the agricultural aspect of the people that stayed hooked during the Dust Bowl and didn't leave, and they're generationally now their families have stayed and kept their deal going, and it's not just them but all the supporting businesses that have stayed as well, and so we just decided instead of ducking the Dust Bowl, we just be proud of it, and we own it, and we're proud of it. And back in the day when they did the Grapes of Wrath movie, Tom Joad was filmed on Sayre Main Street with the courthouse behind him, so Sayre became part of the Dust Bowl lore from that, and so we just used that same Main Street as our parade, and the farmers bring their rigs in, and we're having a car show this year, so we got some vintage cars and tractors. We all do the old tractors in there as well, and you're liable to see anything in that parade. So.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's some very interesting implements and things that go down the street. There. What time does that start on Saturday?
I think 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, that's what I was thinking too. 10 a.m. All right. Wild Plum Jam next Friday night. Tell everybody again who's coming and how they can be a part of it.
Okay, Pat Green is the headliner. Casey Donahue will be right there with him, and then Tyler Wilhelm and Presley Haile. And you can get your tickets early, KECO.com or Wild Plum Jam 2026 Facebook, or you can get them at the gate.
Yeah, you save $5 right now if you go online and you go to KECOFM.com, Wild Plum Jam 2026 Facebook page. Save $5, $35 now. It'll be $40 day of the event. Joe Merrick, thank you so much.
Were you kidding? Will there really be jam there?
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we have Nelda Tucker. She gets the biscuits hot, and we gather up the jam from all the ladies in the community, and it's outstanding.
I love that. I love homemade jam.
Yeah, the wild plums come off this time of year, and all the farm gals are making wild plum jam, and it kind of worked with the music, so we just put that together.
Oh, yeah.
My grandmother, she lived out in Roger Mills County, Dempsey area, but she would always make wild plum jam.
Oh, yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, it's so good.
The U.S. soccer team didn't have much going on, so we've got them parking cars.
Yeah, flew them in from Seattle after that disappointment on Monday night.
Wow.
No, there's a lot of ladies that make very, very good wild plum jam over there.
Yes, there is.
Everybody's...
And it's free. The biscuits and jam are free till they
That's
run
worth
out,
the price of admission alone.
is.
No offense to Pat Green and Casey Donahue and T-Will, but yeah, get some jam. Whew. Sounds good.
Money.
Homemade biscuits?
Well,
okay.
They're nuked home at home.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're good.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, Joe, thank you so much, and I'm sure it'll be a good crowd on hand next Friday night.
I hope it is. It'll be fun either way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joe Merrick. With the Wild Plum Jam, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Oops, too early.
Hi, Mike. There you go. Hey, I shared this on our Facebook page if you want to buy tickets.
Okay, very good. Talk a little college football. Coaches. Did players, teams a little bit here and there. Now, what about the coaches? Skinny on Sports on a Boomtown Grill Thursday, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
If you're hungry in Elk City, there's one place people keep coming back to. Boomtown Grill. Plenty of TVs, a great bar, and a dining room where the food is the real star. Boomtown's kitchen turns out hand-cut choice Angus steaks, burgers ground in-house every single day, and Boomtown's handcrafted pizza that just might be your new favorite in town. Tuesday night, enjoy chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes, peppered gravy, and a roll for just $4.99. Thursday wings are only 50 cents. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main in Elk City. Come hungry.
The Skinny on Sports.
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal, hanging out here on a Boomtown Grill Thursday. It is Thursday. That means the Boomtown Grill 50-cent boneless chicken wing special all day at Boomtown. Hand-cut, hand-breaded, fried to perfection, sauced however you would like. So many different flavors of sauce. It's the happening place. No doubt about it on a Thursday night here in Elk City. Boomtown Grill, 50-cent boneless chicken wings today. Down there at 2103 South Main. It's the Boomtown Grill. All right, Jerry, kind of been, football's right around the corner. Not quite as far away as it seems, and it'll be here before you know it.
You know it's almost football season when a certain magazine is out right now.
Yeah, the Phil.
Yep, Phil Steele.
The Phil Steele.
Preview magazine, which is harder and harder to find in hard copy. But I'll find it. I'll find it, dagnabbit. But, yeah, that's when you know. And, man, kudos to that dude for always staying on top of, with the transfer portal and, what that means for a team to be better or worse, who missed out on transfer dudes, and when the transfer portal window is, and for him to still get a magazine out here in early July is still pretty impressive. But, yeah, that's when that's when it kind of – and, yeah, you got media days. Big 12 media days just wrapped up. SEC media days around the corner. I don't know when Big 10 or ACC are, but, yeah, that's when you know it's coming. It'll be here before you know it. Week 0 will be here before you know it. Who's playing in Ireland this year?
North Carolina and TCU, right?
Is that it?
I think so.
Huh. I'll just go ahead and say it. Each matchup that year after year just seems more like the first one was like Notre Dame and who? It's like a stretch to find a good matchup in that game.
I mean,
it's a good idea. I love it that it's across in Ireland. I'm surprised they haven't taken that particular game and moved it around Europe. Like one year Ireland, next year London, next year Germany, something like that.
I mean, for a week 0 game, that's it could be worse.
Oh, totally could be worse.
Could be worse, yeah. Because was it North Carolina or Notre Dame and Navy? Was it Navy?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good idea. Yeah. Obviously with the Irish connection and then Navy.
I think that's why it's in Ireland.
Flair.
That's why it doesn't move because that was the idea. It was Notre Dame and the Irish connection was the reason why the game happened.
Did they think it was always going to be Notre Dame every year?
Might have, and then Notre Dame said no, thank you.
Nah.
Here's North Carolina TCU. So we've been talking a little bit about players and teams, and today we're going to circle around to coaches. And so, top 10 coaches in college football. 10-1.
Sure.
Who do you have number 10?
I have number 10 will be Mario Cristobal from Miami, runner-up last year. Great success at Oregon, immediate impact head coach when he came back to his home state of Florida and the University of Miami. And Miami just kind of been drifting in the wind since they've last won it. And that now they seem like, and I've always said that in this NIL era, Miami might be a team that could capitalize on something like that. But I think good coaching still matters, and I think he's a good coach. So I got him in my top 10.
Yeah, I'm never going to have him in the top 10 ever.
Why?
Because of the one boneheaded deal he did a couple years ago at Miami where the game was over and he didn't take a knee and they turn it over and he loses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cristobal never making my list. I don't care how many natties he wins. I just can't put him there. But I understand the success, though. He's definitely, sometimes those guys that return to their alma mater, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it appears that it's definitely working down there at the U. Because you're right, they were just kind of drifting in the wind, and he's taken control of that program and was pretty darn close to winning a national championship just last year. I have Kalen DeBoer, number 10. I think he would be higher on this list if he didn't follow Nick Saban. And, being at Alabama and doing what he's done or what he hasn't done, he's still, I think that maybe it shows the bar that Saban had set, that everybody's looking around at Kalen DeBoer thinking we need to fire him when he's still had the success he's had. And he's won everywhere, every level, everywhere he's gone. He has been a winner. So I've got him number 10. Number 9, I have Kenny Dillingham. Arizona State, taking that program to the playoffs. A little bit of bad luck last year, I think, with Leavitt and the injuries and everything out there. We'll see where he continues as far as his career. But I give him probably extra credit just because he's doing it at Arizona State, which is not necessarily one of the perennial powers. And so I went Kenny Dillingham, number 9.
My number 9 is Dabo. He's fallen on this list the last couple of seasons. He is still a active coach who's won national titles, 2 of them in 16 and 18, all-time wins leader among active coaches. So there has to be shown some respect there. But his unwillingness to accept the NIL era and transfer portal era has kind of pulled him down a little bit on this list. If he can embrace that, which all reports are showing that he has, or he's trying to, but he's still, there's some coaches here that I think are more of stock is rising, his is falling, but he's still a top 10 coach.
Who you got number 8?
Number 8, Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. I'm showing my respect for Kirk because of the longest tenured longest active head coach at one school right now. I think that's right.
So, yeah.
It was him and Bob forever, and then Bob retired. All-time wins leader, obviously, at Iowa, multiple bowl wins. Just when you think, well, that offense is horrible, and all of a sudden they've won 10-plus games, and they're consistent winners, and I think it's because of him, and I've got to show him some respect there.
My number 8 is Steve Sarkisian. He appears to have Texas not only back, but as a player in the national conversation every single year. Yeah, that's a job that should be easy, but it's hard to get the right person in there. And I think, unfortunately for fans here, Texas has got this one right. And after, kind of trying some different guys after Mac Brown left, who was clearly the right choice way back then when he took that job and had the success he had, Texas has the right guy. I bet he would be higher on other people's list, probably maybe even yours. But he's a good coach. He's obviously a great offensive coach. And Texas appears poised to be really, really good for a long time as long as he's there. So I've got him number 8. Number 7, I went with Kyle Whittingham. The success he had at Utah, a lot like what we saw here with Mike Gundy at OSU, and their timelines were right there together. And now we get to see if he can do it at Michigan, which there should be no reason why he couldn't. But at the same time, Michigan is another one that feels like they have a hard time zeroing in on the right guy. And then when they do get the right guy, he cheats his tail off, and now he coaches the Chargers. So we'll see if Kyle Whittingham is that guy, but I have him number 7.
My number 7 is Lane Kiffin. his story is cool, even though here lately it's taken a black eye. But from where he was to having to kind of rebuild his resume, where did he go? FAU and then Ole Miss, and he clearly telling everybody I'm still a good coach. And now getting this job at LSU. Great offensive mind, still, fairly young, could be at LSU for a long time if the success is there. Yeah, so I got him at 7.
You got 6.
6 is where I have Steve Sarkisian, Texas. For what's working there, the knock on Texas was the boosters and the administrators wouldn't get out of the head coach's way. I think now what they've found is maybe a little bit has happened, but it's just like that perfect marriage. Like he's accepting how it works in Texas, how they think it should work in Texas. And then outside of all that, he's a really good offensive coach too. And his story's cool too, the recovery and all that stuff from where he was at and his internal struggles and then working his way back up into a well-respected coach and helps when you get good recruiting and good NIL support. You get a Manning on your team, and even outside of that, though, I think that even without Manning, I still think they're a top 5 team this year. So I like he's a dude. He's like he's the first coach at Texas since Mac Brown that I don't mind liking. You know what I mean? Like Mac Brown, I respected. It feels easy that we always beat him as OU fans, but I've always liked Mac Brown and Steve Sarkisian. He's a guy I hate to say this, but I respect that dude. I like that dude, but I just don't like him on the second Saturday in October. But I like him as an offensive guy. And I'm happy to see him find a spot where he can have success for everything I've just said about him, and he's a good coach. I got him at number 6.
Number 6, I've got Dan Lanning, 48-8 at Oregon. Crazy stat. The past 3 years, Oregon's 1-5 against teams that end up playing in the national title game, and 37-0 against everybody else. There are some warts with him as far as kind of in those bigger games, finding a way to win them. But, Oregon's been on the scene for what? I mean, we're going on 25 years now where they've been somewhere around the top, but it feels like this is the most stable that Oregon is since Chip Kelly as far as a true national contender year in, year out. It's a perfect timing for him to be there with the NIL and all that Phil Knight money. But I've got him 6, and then on number 5 I've got Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman. Tough situation, kind of a weird situation when he got that job with Brian Kelly going to LSU. And he's outlasted Brian Kelly at LSU already. And but I'll never forget that video when he walked into the room where all the players were. They didn't know it was like a reveal. Like, here comes your new coach. And the way they reacted, it doesn't surprise me that the success that Notre Dame has had with Marcus Freeman. So I've got him number 5.
I also have Freeman at 5 for everything you just said right there. So they're in that turmoil of when Lincoln Riley left OU, Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU, and then there's this guy they just hired internally was Marcus Freeman. Of all 3 of those guys, he was the guy that's probably like, well, he's not going to last very long. He's not as high profile as those other 2, and he's already outlasted Brian Kelly. He very well could outlast Lincoln Riley if things don't work out at SC. And he's proven it on the field. They probably should have been in, and I won't say probably, they should have been in the playoffs last season, and now they look like a legit national title contender. Got a Heisman contender on their team taking the snaps. Yeah, I got him right there at 5, Marcus Freeman. Number 4 is Dan Lanning. He was a guy that out of Georgia that everybody wanted, and Oregon got him. Helps that Oregon has unlimited funds, but outside of that, there's a reason why even here at OU, everybody wanted that guy at some point. And, when what Oregon was happening when Cristobal left, it was, you talk about stability since the Chip Kelly era. And then they looked like they had something there with Cristobal, and he left. Like, oh man, it's a setback for Oregon, but he's elevated them since he's left. So, got to respect that. That's number 4 for me.
I got Lane number 4. The success he had at Ole Miss is almost unrivaled. With 4 10-win seasons, 3 straight, including last year. I mean, everything he did at Ole Miss is either the best or right behind Johnny Vaught. And he was able, in maybe one of the toughest eras of the SEC as far as the quality of teams, the amount of quality teams, the amount of elite teams in that league right now, and to be able to elevate Ole Miss to the levels that he did, and now goes to LSU. It would be just like Lane Kiffin to go to LSU and just completely bomb, because it sure seems like it's the perfect spot with the resources and everything that he's able to do at other places. It would be like him just for it not to work, but it sure seems like it's going to there with him and LSU. So I've got Lane number 4, and then the top 3. I bet we have them all the same. I just bet they're not in the same order. Number 3, I've got Ryan Day, Ohio State. Consistent. Crazy to think that going into the playoffs 2 years ago, a big swath of that fan base wanted him fired.
It's coming off the Michigan loss.
Yes, and then he wins the national title. And it's just consistently, to me, for the longest amount, he's consistently had Ohio State at or near the top of college football. And that's a testament to how good he is. 82-12 overall going into this season. He may not clear the other 2 guys. So I got Ryan Day 3.
I got Ryan Day 3. Everything you just said right there. Same thing. Won the title in 24 with his seat on fire at that point. And he shut the naysayers up there that we're in the scarlet and gray. So, and he's consistently winning, and that's a big thing for me is consistency. Number 2. So here we are. So top 2. There's clearly 2 coaches left on these lists, and I've switched them twice already. I'm putting Curt Cignetti at number 2 right now. The one last 2 years have been awesome. He's a big reason why that turnaround's happened at Indiana. Won the national title last year, and now I'm at okay, you are right there. You got the low-hanging fruit to be the best coach, to be considered the best coach in college football, and be at number 1. Let's see what he does this season. New quarterback, everything I keep preaching about, target on their back, defending champs. They're going to get everybody's best effort every game this season. It's not, here comes Indiana, let's get homecoming ready. It's, here comes Indiana, everybody get ready. So I'm anxious to see what he looks like this upcoming season. But for what he's done so far, that vaults him up this list for me to number 2.
Yeah, I've got him 2 as well. It was a debated back and forth because he's doing it at Indiana.
Yeah.
And before he got there, Indiana, 125 seasons, had never won 10 games, had won 9 games just twice. He's 27-2 with the national title. Obviously, he didn't win a national title. Now he's 27-2 with the title. The first 2 10-win or more seasons in Indiana history. I was the same way. A total debate, back and forth between Cignetti and Kirby, and I guess maybe I just landed on Kirby Smart number 1 because he's got an extra natty. And, but as far as the trajectory of programs, and this is pretty crazy to say because Georgia is there every single year, but it does feel like since the back-to-back titles, Georgia has been good, but not you knew they weren't national title good. Like halfway through the season, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to win it. Whereas Indiana, you're like, well, where does this go? Probably the longevity from Kirby at Georgia also put him over the top versus just the 2 seasons so far for Cignetti. But I can tell you right now, if he leads Indiana to the playoff again. Barring Georgia winning the national title, if we talk about this again next year, Cignetti will be number one on my list. And I'm not so sure that I don't believe he's the best coach. I just don't know if he's got the best resume yet.
Yeah. And that's why Smart's at the top of my list, too. Just a little bit of better resume, couple titles. What Georgia and Kirby Smart has done, they vanquished the beast. They climbed the mountain in the SEC, took on Alabama. It was always Alabama, and then who else? Who's going to be the number 2 this year? Is it going to be Georgia? Is it going to be Florida? Is it going to be Tennessee? But Georgia not only was that right there, but occasionally would knock off Alabama, and now they're considered the team to beat in this conference that was led by Alabama for the better part of a decade and a half. So I'm giving my flowers to Kirby Smart right now. And the resume helps with the 2 titles and the SEC titles and all of that. But he's right there at number 1. But Curt Cignetti is right there on his heels.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any problem either way.
No.
Looking at
I wouldn't argue with anybody on that.
Looking at the list on ESPN, they've got Cignetti 1 and Kirby 2. Like I said, I don't have any problem with that. I think that you can make a really good argument either way for that to be the case. Who are you surprised? So obviously, I left off somebody that you had,
and I left off somebody that you had.
Yeah, Dabo.
Right, you left off.
I left off Dabo, and
so you're surprised that
I left off Dabo.
What a fall!
Because I mean, just on my list, if I had told you,
I leaned heavy on resume and wins. So
his resume is as good as anybody's.
Yeah,
but he was the one that this might have been more for me to leave him completely off. Might have been even more of a projection to where he's headed. Because think about if we'd have done this list just 3 years ago.
Oh, it'd be
and I told you didn't have Dabo, Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly on these lists. You'd have been like, yeah, right.
Right.
And only Dabo of those 3 guys, only Dabo made either list, and for good reason.
Right.
So who are you surprised you didn't have?
Whittingham. Kind of like Ferentz. I debated him or Ferentz, but Whittingham, I think he lost a point from me if it was a point system because he told Utah, I'm done, I'm retiring, and then like the very next day he took the Michigan job. Utah fans weren't too happy about that. So it kind of, I get it. It'd be like if, maybe not exactly like, but if Bob Stoops said, okay, I'm retiring, then all of a sudden you look up and you see he took the Michigan job? What? So it kind of lost some respect for me. But I'm surprised on the list because of what he did while at Utah. At Utah, still beating teams like USC and when the Pac-12 was a thing, was always right there. How about you? Was Dabo that?
Yeah, Dabo.
Dabo's your guy? Okay.
Yeah, because I've always been a kind of a Dabo defender, even through the first part of this rough stretch. But at some point, the proof is in the pudding, and he's got to adapt. And it's almost just like he is so bullheaded, and probably the things that made him great, being bullheaded, and are what's kind of ruining him here in this part of his journey.
We've seen a lot of coaches in this NIL era just throw up their arms because of that. What you've said, trying to stick to their guns, stick to their ways, and it's like, forget it, I'm done.
Or just took their ball and went home.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't convince me if college football was like it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that Nick Saban wouldn't still be patrolling the sidelines at Alabama.
That's true.
But, a bunch of those guys just saying, I'm done. I don't want to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, made it easy for Saban. It's like, I won a lot of titles. I've won a lot of games. I can walk away from this. This is a perfect time for me to walk away.
And Dabo could, too.
If he could. And
if he doesn't like it, that's the thing. If he doesn't like what's happening, you've got 2 titles. You're going to be remembered at Clemson forever. Just quit.
Yeah.
Just go do something else.
Go out on the high note.
Instead,
he's probably build a statue next to that rock that they touch.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But instead, like, he's kind of tarnishing his legacy a little bit, and it's not necessarily just the wins and losses that are a little bit different than they were a decade ago, but it's just the perception of him has gone way down, and it surprises me. Who do you think is going to be, of the guys you didn't have on this list, who would you put?
I had two.
Thinking you're going to be on.
I had two. One you had on your list, Dillingham over at Arizona State. I think he's almost there. Injuries kind of hurt him last year. They did beat Texas Tech, if I recall,
in
an upset. But if they were healthy,
that's about the time everything went downhill.
Yeah, if they were healthy, then who knows? They probably rematch Texas Tech in the Big 12 title game. But I think he's an up and coming guy. He reminds me a lot of Matt Campbell at Iowa State. He's young. He's energetic. He's a homeboy there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And he could be there and build them up to be really good, and he can become a top 10 coach. You know, I like Mike Elko. I don't like A&M, but I do like Mike Elko, at head coach now at Texas A&M. Had them right there in the mix all season long. They got a quarterback returning, I believe, this year. They got to replace their offensive coordinator, Colin Klein, going to Kansas State. But Mike Elko, I was high on even before he got to Texas A&M. When I heard Texas A&M hired him, I'm like, that is the first time in a very long time Texas A&M has made a smart hire. Not the flashy hire, not the who's everybody want hire. It was a dude. I thought, this guy, they're hiring a winner and a character good dude. So I like him. I think he's on his way up.
I got Matt Campbell.
I'm
surprised I didn't have him in my top 10.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But now he's got – we've seen what he can do as the –
Put him in my surprise I didn't put him list.
Yeah.
Yeah, put him there for me.
As the chippy little underdog at Iowa State. Now we get to see if he can be, one of the – navigate the waters in one of these big dog programs at Penn State. And he last year turned into a bit of a mess there in Happy Valley with James Franklin. But that program is in good shape to take it over. And another thing that he's going to have a really good opportunity is his first season with what was left over that didn't go to Virginia Tech with Franklin. Came with him, the guys that stayed there, and then, of course, the Iowa State guys that came. But, man, have you seen the schedule?
I was just looking it up.
Holy cow. In the Big Ten.
Very, very navigable or
yes.
hard?
No.
All right.
Wisconsin at home, at Northwestern, USC at home, which that might be the pivotal game as far as exactly where they end up. Then,
like I said yesterday, he's not scared of Lincoln Riley.
At Michigan is clearly the toughest game they've got. Purdue at home, at Washington could be a sneaky good one. Then Minnesota at home, Rutgers at home, at Maryland. I mean, when you can get a schedule in the Big Ten, you probably start looking, and they would be one of them. So obviously they're going to play. Penn State's going to play Penn State. So you look at, but for everybody else, you look at what? Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon. Right now, as wondering which of those, how many of those four you got on your schedule. They got only one of them. Duck, Ohio State, and Oregon. Matt Campbell and Penn State have a very good chance to have a good season, to get things rolling. And so he would be the guy that I would figure on if we do this again next year, that will have vaulted into probably for me back into the top 10, because I'm sure at times at Iowa State I would have had him as a top 10 coach in the country.
Yeah, that USC Michigan back-to-back could make or break the season. Not necessarily. I mean, they could still win the rest of them and be in the mix, but yeah, that's a very easy schedule. But, who knows what Michigan's going to be with Whittingham there. That's obviously new coach there. Still returned their quarterback. A lot of question marks on what that's going to look like.
Yeah,
that Penn State schedule is very attractive for a first-year head coach just trying to prove himself on a little bit of a bigger stage.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably just what the doctor ordered. Anybody else? Surprises or? I mean, here would be a question that I thought of after I typed this up and sent it to you. Who will make this list first? Eric Morris or Brent Venables?
Oh, good one. Good one. Man, which fan base do I upset first?
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the deal. I mean, you posed this question beforehand, and I was Googling and looking for other lists to compare to, and Venable's name kept coming up on the just missed the list or outside looking in or could be next year or something like that. I think he gained a lot of respect with what he did last year. Everyone was not shocked because of his defense. Defense carried the season last year. And then, Eric Morris, he's going to bring in an offensive firepower that can win you the Big 12 if everything lines out right. Man, that's a great question. I'll have to lean Venables because he's in the SEC. If he can continue to get 10-plus win seasons, and who knows what could happen, and get in an SEC title game, make playoffs consistently, he could be right there around the 10-9 spot. But if Eric Morris wins the Big 12, and that's a great question. I don't know how to answer it, really.
Looking at so ESPN had a list. I didn't even know they had this list today. And it is the top 10 coaches. It's got also receiving votes. Eric Morris had 4 points. I don't know what the point system is. I didn't read the top. And Venable's nowhere to be found. So at least with this block of voters, I just let's say, what would it take for each of those guys to be on this list next year? I think the bar is higher as far as a successful season at Oklahoma would be not only make the playoffs, but finally win a playoff game.
Right.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Morris, if Eric Morris, if OSU went 8-4 after the disasters of the last 2 years, I could see people putting him on okay, wait a minute. He's won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
Turned around Incarnate Word. Then he goes and wins 12 games at North Texas and immediately goes to Oklahoma State and wins 8. I could see that being a pretty good, especially just looking at this, that he's already getting votes. Like he would be, 11, 12, 13, 14th. If the list came out, all the way down, in the also receiving votes. So he's starting off ahead, at least in the minds of these few writers for ESPN. So yeah, I think one of them, if not both of them, might do it.
Yeah.
Any other?
I mean, I think it's exciting for both schools in the state. It's like everyone kind of, it was, blowing a 17-0 lead at home in a playoff game is one thing, but okay, in the hindsight, it's okay, we're okay. I mean, we, as OU fans, we got back to the playoffs. There's trajectory, and the recruiting. The 2027 class looks really good. We know Venables can coach defense. Okay, we got our guy that could maybe get us through in the SEC. And then up in Stillwater, I mean, he was a guy. I mentioned, guys that are on everybody's want list when it comes to coaches. Eric Morris was up there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wanted him for everything that he could bring with him, with the players, but more so because he's a really good coach, and OSU got him. So I think going into this season, it's exciting for both fan bases of the future of their programs, and that could be like a parallel trajectory for both coaches to get into this list.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think both fan bases have a bunch of reason to be optimistic and excited about what we're going to see come the fall.
You notice I didn't mention Kalen DeBoer. I struggled with that too. He might be a guy on my surprise list as well. And that's hard. I mean, it's hard on him. You don't want to be the guy following the guy.
His record is just so good.
His record, though,
it's hard
he's
to
good
keep
at Washington.
Yeah. Everywhere he's been great.
Yeah.
We'll be back to wrap up a Boomtown Thursday.
If you're hungry in Elk City, there's one place people keep coming back to. Boomtown Grill. Plenty of TVs, a great bar, and a dining room where the food is the real star. Boomtown's kitchen turns out hand-cut choice Angus steaks, burgers ground in-house every single day, and Boomtown's handcrafted pizza that just might be your new favorite in town. Tuesday night, enjoy chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes, peppered gravy, and a roll for just $4.99. Thursday wings are only 50 cents. Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main in Elk City. Come hungry.
The The Skinny on Sports.
Mark. Yeah. Ing. Yeah.
Welcome back. It is the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal, hanging out here on a Boomtown Grill Thursday. 50-cent boneless chicken wings down at the Boomtown Grill today. 11 to 10 on Thursdays. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Down at the Boomtown Grill, 2103 South Main. If you don't want the wings, the pizzas are phenomenal. That Boomtown burger, for show research, I tried that one. Open-faced, queso cheese. Oh, my gosh, it was good. All kinds of great options at the Boomtown Grill. Looking forward to anything this weekend?
No, it's going to be kind of a slow weekend around our household. I know my kid, she's just over the moon happy that the doctor cleared her, so she's been asking me, when are we going to go hit? When are we going to go throw? So when it's not 101 outside, we can definitely get in the barn. I was like, just take a break, sweetie. Take a break. We don't always have to go like that. So we'll probably chill. I've considered going out to Dad's on Saturday night to watch fireworks at Christmas in July. We can watch that from his back porch. It'd be kind of cool. Maybe make some food, take it over there. I don't know. What about you?
Nescatunga.
That's right.
It's Nescatunga week.
That is right. And right on cue. It's going to be hot.
Yeah. It looks, yeah. It's
Newcastle Trey will be there, by the way.
Newcastle Trey will be there. Good.
I checked. I said, be sure you go
say
find Skinny.
Hi to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that. Nescatunga.
Do they pair you with other teams? How does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Do you request pairings?
Maybe. Some do, some don't. I know we're not playing with Newcastle Trey.
Well, I'm just saying that
he always plays in the morning on Saturday, which is probably the right move.
Yeah, probably.
We always play in the afternoon. I'll tell you,
he's a homeboy there. He could play whenever he wants.
I'm just not a morning golfer.
I am.
Old.
I like it.
I'm getting old and my body doesn't work. So if we play in the morning, it's like you get done, and that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to play.
Really?
But we're done. So, but it does get hot, and the wind blows a little bit more in the afternoon than it does the morning, but it'll be fun, as always, trying to capture that elusive first Nescatunga win. Just haven't been able to get it done.
Who are you playing with?
Me and Kissling and his brother-in-law, Eric Smith.
Yeah.
And then a guy from Medicine Lodge, Kansas.
Okay, cool.
Because our normal fourth had a baby like a week ago.
So he's done golfing for the foreseeable future. I know what that's like.
I think the baby came a little earlier than he thought.
Oh.
But he was asked, hey, you gonna play? Or he's like, I can't do it. I can't do that to the other guy. We'll get the band back together next year.
So sunny, I'm looking at Alva's forecast. Sunny, hot, 97. Northeast wind between 6 and 8. Maybe you can hold your breath, and that northeast wind might help you out. Cooling you off anyways. Hey, 97 is better than 107.
I mean, I'm telling you, 3 years ago maybe, on Saturday afternoon, I quit looking at my phone when it said 114. I was like, I don't want to know how hot it is.
I'm surprised your phone didn't melt. That's how hot it or just shut down because it's overheated.
This shows chances of rain.
Okay.
Make
sure I'm in the right.
Well, but you never know about the phone weather versus the real weather.
Yeah.
Or what the National Weather Service weather says. Never very reliable on the phone weather.
Well, at least it won't be crazy windy.
Yeah, that's true. North breeze. Let's see.
Usually in northwest Oklahoma, it's
north breeze. I'm trying to think of the golf course.
It's a 9-hole, right?
Yep, it's a 9-holer. I don't know if that helps or hurt. Well, we probably can't get to number 4 anyways. Very
And
interesting.
it's been very, very long time, like
I guess.
college days since I played there.
Yeah, I think it's in great shape. I mean, they've had tons of rain.
They have had a lot
They've
of
had
rain
a
up there.
ton of rain, and
I bet you it is in great shape.
reports are that the golf course is awesome. So that'll be fun. Speaking of golf and awesome golf courses, the 122nd Trans-Mississippi Amateur Championship is going on at Southern Hills over in Tulsa right now. Third round is underway. And I bet Ryder has started because he was going to tee off at 9:30, so obviously he started. But they only post scores in 3-hole increments, so we don't really know what's happening.
Okay.
But Ryder Cowan started out. He shot back-to-back 3 under 68s to finish 6 under through 2 rounds, which was 2 shots off the lead held by Parker Sands. He's fourth place by himself. That guy has vaulted up to 10th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, and essentially he's no worse than 9th because they haven't updated it since Jackson Coyvin's not an amateur anymore. So he's number 1 right now, but when the update happens, he'll be off that list because he's a professional. And so at worst, Ryder would be 9 on that list. But, he's 2 shots off the lead going into today. 3rd round today, 4th round, the final round tomorrow up there at Southern Hills. So we'll monitor that and see how Ryder's doing there. And then also, World Cup back today, France and Morocco. Do you give the Moroccans a chance?
I give anybody a chance outside of France, but against France, no. No, France is almost feels like overwhelming favorite at this point.
See if we can find some odds. Minus 175.
What does that mean? Can you help me with that?
It means you got to bet $175 to win 100.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
That's how big a favorite. So, 1 point. Morocco is plus 550. So that means bet 100 to win $550. That's pretty sizable. Pretty sizable favorite.
Yeah.
The French. Matter of fact, I'm going to bet that's the biggest favorite of anybody.
Oh, I'd agree.
Yeah, Argentina and Switzerland is minus 145 plus 450. So that's in the ballpark, but not. And then Norway and England and Spain and Belgium are going to be way, way closer than that. So yeah, this is probably on paper, betting odds. This is the biggest mismatch of the quarterfinals.
Yeah. No, France, unless they just do something dumb, I think they got this.
They look pretty hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it. All right, everybody. Get down to Boomtown. 50-cent boneless chicken wings special.
This day always makes me hungry.
I know. Yeah, it's like I'm already hungry and I just ate breakfast. Everybody have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Wrap up the week on the Skinny on Sports.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.